Hello there. So you've clicked on this video. Presumably, you would like to know what happens when Ben Shapiro is mentioned in a YouTube video. Mr. Shapiro was mentioned in a video on this channel lately, one of the most recent videos. It was called "When Should You Leave an Interview?" And the purpose of this video, the idea was basically to question why is it that some people who walk out of interviews before they're over, why is it some people seem justified and other people don't? So basically the idea with this video was to analyze public opinion. Why public opinion shifts in somebody's favor sometimes and why it's against other people other times. That's what it was about. It was about public opinion. There were a lot of people who understandably were, joking around about this video, saying, oh, this is so relevant. I'm going to be interviewed by 60 Minutes next week, so this will really come in handy. And, understandable. Obviously, most of us are never going to be interviewed. The idea of the video was to just to analyze and question public opinion and why it is what it is regarding certain people. Anyway, there were multiple examples of people walking out of interviews in this video, obviously, and the last example was Ben Shapiro's infamous interview on the BBC when Andrew Neil interviewed him earlier this year in May. Now, in total, that took up just the second half of the video. Shapiro never even shows up in the first half of this video. He's just in the second half. And what he actually said and what Andrew Neil actually said, the arguments that he made, what he stood for, what he stood against, all that, none of that was really challenged. Basically, the interview was just analyzed for the purpose of trying to figure out why public opinion was either for or against him. Now, there are a lot of videos on this channel that focus on politics and focus on political figures, and in the comment section of every video, there are always a few people who make particularly mean or vulgar or stupid comments. That always happens. There's always a few of them. Unfortunately, this video, the comment section on this video was much more ginned up, if you will, than usual, than on most comment sections on this channel. And as an example of this, there were a lot of people who watched this video who were convinced that the video or this channel was politically biased. The reason why it's funny is because a lot of people on both sides of the political spectrum were convinced that the video or this entire channel was biased against them. Here's a person who is apparently convinced that this channel has a conservative bias. This person thought that it had a liberal bias. This person thinks that this channel panders to the right wing. This person thinks that the channel is left wing. This person thinks that the video was a defense of Ben Shapiro. This person thought it was a hit piece. This person thought the video was obviously pro-Shapiro. This person was convinced that the video was anti-Shapiro. This person thinks it's pandering to the right wing. This person thinks it's unfair towards the right wing. And think about it. All of these comments were made on the exact same video, and they were all predicated on Ben Shapiro. Now, that isn't to say that there weren't other comments that looked like this, but like I said, there were many, many, many more comments than there are usually of people who were just, furious, that were just utterly pissed off at this video or at this channel for being biased against them and piling on with just schoolyard insults from both directions. That's the thing that's fascinating about this, is that there really doesn't seem to be any political bias as far as the vulgarity of these comments. They were coming from both directions. There were plenty of people saying, oh, Ben Shapiro wrecks everybody, but he slips up once and the libtards smell blood in the water, stuff like that. And then there were other people who say things like, see, here's all the evidence you need that Ben Shapiro is a baby or an idiot, or I can't understand how anybody respects this guy. And all of this is not really surprising if you're somebody who consumes a lot of political content on YouTube. These sorts of comments obviously show up all the time on most political content on YouTube. Most YouTube channels that make videos that discuss politics, especially if they mention Ben Shapiro, will see a fairly negative and discouraging comment section. But that doesn't normally happen on this channel. Most of the time, most of the comments on the videos produced for this channel don't look like that. Unfortunately, they did look like that this time for this When Should You Leave an Interview video, and almost all of those comments were situated on Shapiro. They had nothing to do with the content of the video, they had nothing to do with the arguments made or anything specifically said. They were just insults. Obviously, people are allowed to say things like this. I don't think anyone should be banned from saying anything like this. That's not the point that I'm making. And obviously, Ben Shapiro is not directly responsible for people behaving this way, but I think it's fair to say that he is indirectly responsible because he is one of the most influential individuals in American politics. You know, I don't really care to defend Andrew Neil. The guy can stick up for himself. Ask him, Ben Shapiro. But one of the points that Andrew Neil made in this BBC interview, agree with it or not, this is just what his take was that for his part, at least for Shapiro's part in contributing to political dialogue, to say nothing of his intelligence and to say nothing about how good his ideas are, he's having a negative influence on the way in which we discuss politics and policies and how we interact with each other and all that. Well, after producing this video and publishing it and seeing just how rotten the comment section wound up, I find myself gravitating more towards that opinion. It really reflects poorly on him, that just bringing up one interview that he did and analyzing the interaction between him and Andrew Neil in a way that didn't take a political stance one way or the other resulted in dozens and dozens of people claiming that this channel is leftist or right-wing or, you know, trying to praise Shapiro or, you know, jerk him off or something, you know, just disgusting comments. And then on the other side, you had people saying that this channel was a left-wing, yada yada, just all sorts of other crap in the comment section. It's a shame that with this ability to communicate with anybody around the globe, this amazing technology is being used just to dunk on people and talk smack. We've got to do better than this, because, you know, we're all in this together. We all got to live with each other and share our country together. We're not going to agree on everything. We're never going to agree on everything. So can we just try to be a little more... why do I even bother? Anyway, just thought I'd make this quick video to share my thoughts.